Well, at least I know my leak detector works. Holy crap. I got popcorn in my teeth. I was in watching TV and I forgot that I just ran my RODI line straight into my reservoir pump, which I should know better. Just a little bit of water. I forgot I left this running. That's why I set an alarm on Alexa.
What happened when the alarm went off?
I jumped.
No, when the Alexa alarm went off.
I turned it off because it was only like half full. So I was like, oh, I got another. And then I started watching TV and I forgot all about it. Don't forget when you have water just running somewhere. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Newbie Tank Series 2.0. This is episode 12 in this series. Hey, thank you all for watching. Today, I got a lot to cover. But first, you saw in the intro there that I had a little bit of a leak. It wasn't a leak per se from anything going on here. It was because of me. I ran my RODI line across the same way I filled my tank from where my water station is, about 20 feet over that way. Ran it over here to fill up my auto top-off reservoir. See, I was out of town at Reef Palooza, California, which is a kind of a trade show convention for the saltwater aquarium hobby. Super fun to go to. And I'm going to cover a bunch of it here in this episode, so stay tuned. We'll keep that towards the end. But I was out of town, so this drained way down, so I just decided rather than lug a 5-gallon bucket, pour it, fill it up here, I'm just going to run the line right into it. So I did that, turned it on, set an alarm on my Alexa, and then when the alarm went off on my Alexa, I knew it wasn't full yet, so I forgot to reset an alarm and sat back down watching TV and forgot about it. And then the hydros alarm went off. You saw what happened. And I came in here, cleaned it up. It wasn't too big a deal. Found out my rope detector works great. And it's not a big deal if you have those rope detectors. If you want to test yours, just put it in a little cup of water, pour some water on it, and test it. And you know that it works. And then all you do is just wipe it off, dry it off, and the alarm stops. So they really, really work good. So my hydros worked great, but it got me thinking, what if I wasn't right in the next room? What if I was upstairs sleeping down the hall where I might not hear it when I've got my sleeping Zen music on in my room at night? So I thought of a solution, and this is the solution. It's a flashing siren light. That's kind of crazy, right? But let me demo this thing for you. What you can do on the hydros is you can configure a plug on your XP8, on your launch, to be an alert. And so on my hydros, we'll open up my app here. You can see I've got, there's my rope detector, my leak detectors, and then down here, I've got one called alert. And the alert is set up, I'm going to open it up here. I've got it on auto. So what happens is if any red alert happens in my tank, things I have set to a red alert, like my leak ropes, it'll switch on the outlet and it'll turn this thing on. So let me demo it for you. Let me turn on the outlet there on my launch. That's really loud. That'll wake me up. That'll wake up everybody. That'll wake up the neighbors. That thing is $20 on Amazon. But you ask, Jimmy, are you going to keep it plugged into your launch and run a cord all the way up the stairs? Well, I'm not. Hydros sells this thing. This is a Wi-Fi outlet, just like you'd buy that for your Apple HomeKit or your Amazon Alexa, things you want to power by Wi-Fi, turn them on and off. Only this one works with hydros. So you can set this up in your hydros, and then this just becomes an outlet that I can replace where I've got it plugged in for the demo here on my launch. So this is going to go up in my bedroom, plugged into my siren. If I have a red alert, it's going to go off in my bedroom, and the whole world's going to know it probably. So that's a really cool thing. It didn't cost a lot of money. It's something fun and cool to talk about and demo for sure. Hopefully I never actually hear it in real life, but I tested it. It works great. So that's the solution I came up with. But then it got me thinking, what if I'm not at home? Well, we all carry these things, right? We got our cell phones. So I actually got this idea off of a Facebook group for Coral View Hydros. So whoever suggested that, I should go look it up and credit them. It was a great idea. This is it. Set up a separate email just for your hydros, and then set notifications to notify you that you've got an email. So hydros will send emails for red alerts. They'll send push notifications. You can set up a light like this. But the email, I went ahead and did that, set up a separate email, tested it out. And now when my hydros sends me a red alert email, I've set up an audible notification for a Klingon Star Trek alarm. So I'll hear it and my phone will vibrate, it'll make a sound, and then I'll know that I need to take action. I can look on my security cameras here. I can call home to anybody that's at home. I can call my tank buddy. And then you just take action for whatever you need in your tank. So if you think those are great ideas, or you would like how-to videos, how to set up, this Wi-Fi alert on your hydro system, or the email idea, maybe I can make a video, how-to video specific to that. If you think that's a good idea, please leave a note in the comments and I'll make that video. So it's a step-by-step. We'll do that in the future. But back to the tank. So I was just at Reef Palooza in California. I've got a lot to share with you from that. We'll keep it towards the end of the episode because it's not really the tank related, and this series is kind of about the tank. So we'll separate it into a couple pieces here. So, but while I was at Reef Palooza, California, just like I promised in a previous episode, I went ahead and visited some of the vendors to ask them some questions about my tank. Okay, as promised, if you've been watching, you know that I've set up my heaters according to some advice from Mr. Saltwater Tank, that I've got them plugged into my hydros, and my hydros is controlling them on and off. Now the debate in the comments has been, hey, why are you using your hydros that cost all this money to switch on and off, where a heater is much cheaper, and if you're gonna make that thing cycle so many times on and off, it'd be easier to replace a less expensive piece of equipment. That's the main argument, but that's not how I have it set up. I may swap this. As promised, I'm here with Carlos from Hydros. Carlos, you caught a little bit of that spiel.
Yes, I did.
So I've got a temperature sensor on my hydros. I've got my two heaters plugged into my XP8, my temperature sensor and my launch, and I'm telling my hydros to turn my heaters on at 77 degrees, turn them off at 78.
Okay.
And then my heaters, I've set them up past that threshold at 78 and a half so that they want to be on.
Correct.
So it's being controlled by my hydros. Is that okay to do?
Yes, absolutely.
Even if it's going to be like doing it maybe multiple times a day, and over time that's going to add up to a huge number. Is that going to tax this device to?
No, it's not. No, the XP8 is built for a lot of cycles like that. And one of the things that you want to do is the heaters are oftentimes the point of failure, as we all know in
Right.
this hobby. And what you want with your XP8 is, I want to make sure that heater's working. Where we
Right.
live, it's cold or hot, whether it is, if it turns on, I want to make sure it turns on. So when the hydros is controlling the heater, when the hydro says turn on, that heater's going to turn on. It's going to draw 300, 400 watts.
Right.
When it turns off, it's on. When you allow the heater to control itself, and often the hydros, then the heater can be on and off while the hydros is still on. So if you're doing power monitoring, sometimes it'll say 400 watts and sometimes it'll say 0, which is perfectly fine, but doesn't really tell you what you want.
And that's the functionality that I was looking for when I travel.
Yes.
Because I can't
Exactly.
go, oh, is it hot? Is it warm? You see, is the light on? I'm going to put a little camera in my sump because these guys have a cool little mount for it over here so that I can kind of see some things. But I love that I can see the power draw
Yes.
on my XP8, so I know that it's on. And then I've got temperature sensors. So you're totally okay with this thing cycling that way. Do you have your setup that way at home?
Absolutely. I have it that way. You can do it the other way and it's fine, but you are giving up that incredible feature of power monitoring, which is very helpful, especially if you're away.
And that's why I think Mr. Saltwater Tank turned me on to it.
Yes.
Is, hey, let's do it this way. And I understood both sides of the argument, but then I said, you know what, I'm going to ask these guys at Reef Palooza about this thing going through so many cycles.
No.
So I assumed that's going to be the answer. No one's going to tell me, hey, yeah, your piece of equipment's going to break down in a week. You know?
Yeah, exactly. But what you want to do is also the heaters. Let's say you go to a store and buy a $20 heater.
Yeah.
They only have a lifetime of on and on and off, on and off. And oftentimes, you know how it is. When it dies, or the switch, the internal switch dies, it dies and on.
So I've had that happen.
Yes, exactly. So I want to make sure that this reliable, built to last device can control it, and that very short-lived switch inside the heater is fresh and ready. So when it does need to, kick in, it actually works.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did this, because I did experience in my freshwater tank where I came out and there were like fish floating. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on in here? And I walked up to the tank, and before I even opened the hood on there, I could feel heat.
Yeah.
I put my hand against the glass.
I'm so sorry.
My heater got stuck on. I lost like 12 fish. And the temperature, it was like 112 degrees or something, water temperature in there.
Yes.
African cichlids, it was terrible. But yeah, that's why I love the power monitoring. I love that I got the temperature sensor on there. I think I'm going to stick with this system for now, but either works.
Either works.
Yeah, but the power monitoring is a great idea. There's the answer from Hydros.
Well,
hey, thanks for that.
by.
Viewers love it. Now, another stop I made at Reef Palooza was to stop and talk with Terrence from Avid Aqua. They make these cool magnet systems. They're mod mag system, meaning modular. They have a bunch of different things for these. And I discovered a few things that I didn't know that appeared obvious, but to me they weren't obvious. So Terrence helped me out with those, and I'll share a little bit of that with you here. Terrence, you got a cool little ring around here, but I was putting this rubber stopper on here and it didn't like fit right. I was like, what's going on here? And you're like, Jimmy, it looks sloppy. That's not the right way to do it.
Right.
So I do know the right way now because you told me, but why don't you share quickly how this works the right way?
Yeah, so first of all, the reason to have this is that in certain situations you'll want this on the inside of the tank. In certain situations you'll want it on the outside of the tank because it gives you a little extra stiction. Okay?
Right, because I was wondering, why aren't there two of them?
Correct, because usually you want it on one side or the other.
Right.
But if you want to put it on, the way that you do it is this little beauty ring that's right here. You just push on it with your finger like that. You get a little friction, and then you peel it off like that. And then once you peel it off, then now this will just fit right into that groove all the way around.
It fits in perfectly now.
Yep, all the way around.
It doesn't look sloppy anymore.
Correct.
I'm sorry that it wasn't obvious to me.
Right.
But now I have it correct on my tank. And what I found was really cool, because I always thought, oh, this is just a padding to protect my glass, but it gives you grip.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this thing is grippy. So you were saying on the outside or the inside of your tank. Now the other thing that I noticed that I do, I have this gripping my camera hold. So I have this on the outside of my tank.
Right.
But what I find is when I get my magnetic scraper out, that I'm moving this to scrape and the grip. And I was thinking, what a cool thing to do if, and I already know the answer, are you going to do something with this or any of these? Because you're sliding them in your tank.
Yeah, so you're already, onto something there, which is, early and even some current mag scrapers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, work in that kind of fashion, and they put basically a piece of Velcro or something down on here, and then from there you can move it around in front of your camera and clean off the area in front of your camera.
Well, I thought about makeshifting one of my own after I talked to you.
Hey, that's what this hobby's about too, right?
Yeah.
It's like coming up with cool things and like fooling with things, seeing what's going to work for you.
Yeah. Well, while we're here, and I'd rather, since I have you, and it comes straight from your mouth, I dig the probe holder, but why don't you give me some insight to how you came up with the design and what are all the functions it can do?
Okay, well, let's take off this one. This is the Quattro. So
that's the one I have. It's awesome.
So it holds 4 probes in it, and they're basically a standard size probe hole that most people have. The probes all are the same kind of size. Okay.
Actually, I have the Duo one.
Oh, you have the Duo?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, but I should get that one. What did I do? I got the wrong one.
So it holds 4 probes in there. If you have the old style Neptune Systems probe, you'll thread it up through the bottom because they're the big clunky ones. The new style will fit right into here for the temperature probe, and all the rest of the probes, salinity, pH, ORP, all will fit in there. Yeah. If you happen to have either like an Inkbird heater controller, or you have a Hydros controller, which I think you do, those have a smaller temperature probe, and it doesn't like fit nice, right?
Right.
So we created this little device that you can use it to mount that temperature probe into.
The cord goes right down through here and it holds really tight. That's how I've got my Hydros temperature sensor.
And now you got a great place to put it there.
Yeah.
Then the next thing you see are these red tubes. These red tubes are
You just put it in this way. I have mine upside down. I should run my cord here and my sensor should be down here.
That wasn't obvious?
None of this is obvious. Hopefully, I'm sorry that it's not. I'm a newbie, dude. So I love the idea of how clean it looks in my tank and its functionality, but some of this is not obvious.
Okay.
I'm telling you. So now that it is, so I feel stupid, but if you thought the same thing as me, don't feel stupid. Because I'm not stupid, but now I know.
So yes, you run that up there.
I just now learned that I have mine upside down.
The cord comes out there, and it'll look just like one of these when you're done.
All right.
And then the next thing are these tubes in the back. Any 1/4-inch tube would go through there.
Yeah.
But we include these guides, and you know what they're for? Do you use those yet? Do you have any automated tester like a Trident or Alcatronic or anything like that?
I'm not really good at testing.
Okay, well.
What is that? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I don't test too often.
If you had one of those automated testers, you would know that the tubing that is the pickup tube for them is this tiny little thing that flops all around your sump, right?
All right.
And so if you have one of those testers, you can put this in your tank and run that tube down there.
Yeah.
And now it manages it in one place. It's not flopping all around. It's not in the algae in the side of the glass or down
that's
the bottom
awesome.
in the detritus.
Because I dig automation. I love making things easier for myself. I would love to have an auto tester so I'm not getting out all of that stuff. But I hate cords everywhere and doing all these different things. That's why I love your probes. Thanks for making them.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where it was another thing we would have liked to have had as reef keepers.
Yeah.
So we're like, why don't we just do that?
Yeah, it's super cool. All right. Anything else new here?
Well, the last part of this, so that you know, is you notice that thing we started talking about,
yes,
which is the rubber thing. You'll notice it's on the inside in this one. And the reason it's on the inside in this one is because it gives you that extra grip inside, so you're working in your sump or whatever.
Right.
It's much harder to pull it loose, and the likelihood that you're going to want to slide it up and down like you do the other things in your tank isn't there.
Yeah, and that's something I learned because I was trying to figure out. I got one of these. Where do I use it? But then you just have to use your noggin a little bit, and it is kind of obvious. Like, where do you want grip? But and the cool thing is with your magnets, everything's so modular. And one of the things I learned here it is. We had a conversation, and I'm going to put one of these in my tank next because I've got my probe holder there, and I'm going to put a Wise one.
You can put a Wise one, but you can put, this is the Avid Cam. And so you slide the Avid Cam on the outside, right?
Yeah.
And now if you have a Wise camera, now you actually can mount it right to that same connector because it's got a 1/4-inch on it. And you're familiar with this because you're a camera guy, right? So now you're watching your sump.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I don't have to have another mount for it.
Nope.
I can use one that's already there.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have that on my tank yet. I do have a Wise camera on the front of my tank, and my reef tank, I'm using this, and it's super cool.
Yeah. So and if you didn't have a Wise camera, you can use any other camera.
because you're using your
standard mount.
1/4-20. Standard.
Oh, that's technical stuff from the photography guy, the 1/4-20.
The 1/4-20. Yeah, it's perfect. All right. Hey, thanks for enlightening me a bit.
I can't wait to see what you put into that fish-only tank.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Hey, thanks, Terrence. Thanks for the time.
All right, man.
Okay, so I have my little gripper on there correctly now. It looks really clean. And I did go ahead and pick up one of those camera mounts for it. So I'm just going to slide it in there, and you can see how it just kind of grips the holder at different heights, and it does it magnetically, so there's no metal pieces to rust or anything like that. It just holds. Now this is the Wise security camera that pans and tilts and so I can operate it from an app and turn it inside my sump and zoom in. So that's very cool. So I'm just going to mount this down here, and then I'll run the cable through my little cable channels, hiding it. And then I've got some outlets left over there on my hydros that I can plug this into. So yeah, there it is, a little pan and tilt camera mounted down in the sump. That's a pretty cool thing to have. Now, you know, you see a lot of cool things and find new products and all that when you attend one of these trade shows. And Reef Palooza was a really, really good time. But one of my favorite parts was meeting you folks who watch here on YouTube and say hello at the events. It's really, really fun. And I had one particularly special encounter, and I want to share that with you right here.
Jimmy, I want to give you some coral. Check those out. It's an Indo Gold torch from my tank.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yours. That's very cool. Put into my tank.
Yes, maybe not your Fowler tank, but your reef tank.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then I got a blue tip green frog spawn, neon green frog spawn.
So what are you doing with these?
They grow like weeds in my tank. They're super cool, and I give them away. So they're yours.
These are going home in my tank.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Look at how cool they are. Should shine the light on those again. My goodness, the colors are awesome. I had something that looked like this, and it died, and my reef tank is really needing some love right now.
Well, now
this
you have
is so
another
much
one.
Appreciated. You brought these here today.
I saw you on Instagram, and I was like, I got to bring Jimmy some coral.
Oh my God, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm lit up. This is super exciting.
Nah, man, welcome to the community. I hope they grow good in your tank like they do in mine.
I hope the airline lets me on the plane with these. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. I'll try to film it when TSA's patting me down for corals.
You can't film in the TSA line, Jimmy. You're getting arrested.
Mr. Saltwater Tank says I can't film. We'll give it a try. So how cool was that, right? I got a couple of corals. I was a little nervous bringing them through TSA back on the airplane, but it really was no problem. They just had to call everybody over and look at them. So I didn't video because someone told me you can't video at TSA, but it was pretty funny seeing every agent come and look at them. Like, what are these? These are corals? I think they knew what they were, but they let me through and I brought them home and they look great in my tank. Here's a couple of cool shots of them. So I want to thank Kevin so very much for such a cool gift. I hope you stay till the end because I want to show you just a few more minutes of what a good time I had going out to this cool trade show and some of the other things that I saw out there that I think you might like too. Here it is. YouTube.
You made it.
Of course I made it.
Pin, man. Where's Jimmy?
Of course we have to wait for Mr. Saltwater Tank.
Did you get me lunch? I'm hungry.
First stop, In-N-Out Burger, of course. Hey, rolling.
Something just beeped at me.
Take like 3 steps before you start talking.
You want me to step to the camera? Let me just like walk past you and start talking.
Yeah.
I'm Mark Callahan, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you about half a... I'm Mark Callahan, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. We're here at Unique Corals. We're gonna get a tour of their lobby tanks. They got some unique tanks that I really haven't seen before. Come check it out.
Get a luggage cart and take me to my room.
Since you want it.
So this is Long Beach, and why we're over here is we're going to the Aquarium of the Pacific, which is another cool thing you can do if ever you come to one of these Reef Paloozas. Now I live in Orlando, so there's lots to do in Orlando. We've got Disney World, Sea World, all the theme parks we're famous for there. We've got the Space Coast with the SpaceX rockets launching. But I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous. Why don't I live in California?
We get to the aquarium already, Jimmy? You always got to do this filming stuff. Why can't you just go enjoy the aquarium? Like, no.
It's all for YouTube, dude. Dude, that one totally looked at you. I think he recognized you.
Tough being famous, Jimmy. You'll get there one day.
They're looking for things on the ground.
Wow.
And sometimes you see on the...
He feels slimy, Mr. Saltwater Tank.
Looks like there's something that's opening up.
It's worth it.
People sometimes see this out.
Okay, this here is my new little buddy. We're now Facebook friends. Oh, there he goes. Here it is. Look what I just found on the sign.
Where's your fish, Jimmy?
I don't know. Find him in there for me, Mr. Saltwater Tank.
Why do I gotta find him? You're the dude who loves fish.
Okay, so far, this is my favorite tank at the aquarium because there's a porcupine puffer in there. I have got my whale watching ticket. This clown is gonna miss out. He's totally gonna miss out.
Well, I need to go help the boss, Jimmy.
Oh, listen to this excuse. Nancy agreed to go with me. There's Nancy. Nancy's, we got our tickets. Let's go see whales. We are gonna see whales. Mr. Saltwater Tank, go get an Uber and go back and...
I hope you see one. If I don't go, then they'll see one. If I go, it'll be...
Yeah, we don't want Mr. Saltwater Tank with us.
Yep.
We want Jimmy Ocean. Jimmy Ocean's going out there. Just went through the biggest pod of dolphins I've ever seen. There were hundreds of them. Literally, I mean, there were hundreds. And hopefully I got some good footage of them because that was unbelievable. Super cool. I really was hoping to see whales today, but that was totally worth it. Straight ahead, full. Straight ahead, full. Those dolphins were unbelievable. I couldn't believe how many there were. I had such a great time going out to Reef Palooza, spending some time, going whale watching, seeing the aquarium. It was really awesome. And thanks to everyone who said hello. And this is where the point where I say thank you to all of you for watching. Be sure to do all that YouTube stuff. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification bell. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.